Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Holt Outdoors podcast. I am your host, Brennan Holt, and today we got a good episode for you guys. I'm looking forward to it. We've got a friend of mine, good friend that I've been coon hunting with for a long time, coming on, Josh Cowden. We recently did a video over him and his dog a couple weeks ago, and thought it turned out really well. And we're learning new things about the podcast stuff and everything we do, but this is going to be fun, I think. And me and him just going to have a conversation and see where it takes us. And got a few little talking points to hit, but should be fun. So um, I think tonight maybe I'm going to be taking Shy hunting again. He's been off for a week, just trying to get some things cleaned up, give him a little break, maybe a reset. The last few times I've taken him, he's not had the best nights, which is to be expected. They have good nights, bad nights, but um, yeah. So gonna be doing that, and I mean, I'm itching to get into a competition hunt, but just can't do it yet. Don't have the dog for it, and Ruby, she's out in Kansas with another kid I know. He's hunting her for me, and just trying to kind of get her jump started. And since I've been spending so much time with Shy, so um, yeah, a lot of exciting things coming. Really excited to be doing a podcast. Hopefully, we'll have a ton of good guests on here. Hopefully, we'll have another Shy video to bring to you guys quick. And um, a little about Josh. He's a really good dog man, and has had several dogs that are quality dogs, and um, he's going to be a good source of knowledge, and I'm looking forward to this. So without further ado, let's get Josh Cowden on here.
How's it going?
Hey man, how you doing?
Good. Staying busy.
So yeah, me too, So you had a long day of work, huh?
Yeah. Spencer's working me in the ground.
Yeah, same here. Busy day today. Makes it hard to want to go hunting at night, but yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this though. We just This is our second podcast, so I just want to get to know your story a little bit better, and just talk through some things. I've got some thoughts, and it'll just be a normal conversation. Me and you are just two regular guys. You clearly have had more experience in the competition world than I have, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just normal guys. Um,
Oh yeah.
and you know, there's a lot of people out there like us, so I feel like conversations like this are useful to a lot of people, and I hope that people enjoy it. But um, yeah, I guess we'll just get into it. I just tell us a little bit about yourself, your personal life, and just kind of your little bio on everything about you.
Yeah. I'm 30 years old. Born and raised right around Buffalo, Missouri, and live in Fair Grove now. And, my better half, Andrea, is, if you know me, you know her, and pretty much that's it. We grind every day and try to hunt as much as we can. Living life,
Yeah,
loving it.
yeah,
That's it.
that's the way to be, man. Yeah, Buffalo is just right down the road, about 20 miles from where I grew up, and um, obviously I knew you when we were both in high school. I didn't know you as well as I know you now, but
Yeah.
I always knew you had coon dogs and good dogs. And one memory that jumps out is when we all used to hunting those meat hunts that Chad Wade used to put on in Buffalo. Those are
Oh,
some good times.
yeah. I really like. I mean, not to get started too early, but I think what I was hunting back then, I could go compete right now. I just didn't hunt competition back then. You know, I don't think I have any better dogs than I did. I'm sure same with you, but
Yeah,
it's just
yeah, for sure. Especially right now, I barely have anything that can tree a coon on a consistent basis. But um, yeah, those are some good days. Had a lot of fun doing that. But like I was saying, Buffalo is just right down the road, and we grew up in the same time, and I never got to coon hunt with you back then. But you know, it's it's been fun getting to know you here recently, and seeing your dogs go quite a bit. So, um, just I guess, how did you get into coon hunting? I mean, when did it start for you? Like, um, yeah, just how did you get into it?
I was probably 13 or 14 when I started wanting to go, and I had heard about it because my grandpa used to hunt quite a bit. My dad went with him when he was young, and then they both stopped. And then I started wanting to go. So my dad, well, he ended up finding me a dog and pretty much started going. And then my grandpa started going again, some as well. Went through a few, you know, just three, four, $500 dog, a couple pups that didn't really do much.
Yeah,
Got a good one for nothing, and started going more and more. And my grandpa started going with us more and more, and kept rolling from there. And then nah, I was probably 13 then, and by the time I was 16 or 17, me and my dad would go at least 2 or 3 nights a week, every week, pretty much, and just.
let me ask you, what kind of dogs did you start with? What breed?
The first one I really had ever was a red bone puppy, and he really
Hmm.
never did anything. And, I got a English female that a guy had, a neighbor guy, that was an older dog, and started hunting her with him. And she was a nice dog. She treated a lot of coons, but she didn't never open on the ground, just get through there and fall trade.
Yeah,
She was an English, and the first real dog that I had that was a coon dog was a Walker that was a grandson to Sackett Jr. And
oh really?
he was a good. We bought him as a 4 year old, I believe, 3 or 4 years old. He was, you know, finished dog, the real deal, ready to go. Um,
Yeah,
and then bred him a few times and really been hunting dogs out of him, or a dog out of him anyway, until when I bought Heist a few years ago. I bought
yeah.
him when my old last female out of him died. I've
Hmm,
still got
I
a
got
grand
you.
pup out of him,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Well, so does your dad and kind of the people that mentored you, do they still hunt today?
nope. My grandpa, he passed away in 2015 or so, and he was going with me some up until then. My
Yeah.
dad, he went quite a bit until a couple years ago. He broke his foot uh,
Mm,
on the porch, stepping off the porch. He broke his foot, and
goodness.
he's really just now healed up enough to walk around very good anyway. So he'll
Yeah,
go once in a while, ride along or something, but not much.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, you're obviously like me. You went through several dogs there back in them old days before you really got into what
Yeah,
you're hunting now.
yeah. I'd say I had three that were, like I said, that English female was really nice, but she was like 10 years old and got cancer. So I just hunted her a season or two for that guy, and then got a. After that, I got a blue tick that was an older dog, and he was okay at best. And
Yeah,
then I started getting a few pretty decent ones. I got a pretty nice blue tick that was a puppy that I started with that old
yeah,
dog, the dog out of Sackett, and then bred him and got some pups. And
yeah.
so I went through a few.
So I mean, I started with um just a friend of mine in high school that had a female that bred to a Walker dog female that bred to Russell Beck's line of dogs. And I got two pups out of them. and one of them turned out to be a pretty nice dog. But so what I'm gathering here, listening to you, is that you know I'd say coon hunting is very cultish. The breeds you got walkers, and then as some people say, and I'm not one of those people, they say the off breeds. But it sounds to me like you are a guy who really don't care what color it is. You're gonna hunt it if it's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've had a couple blue dogs that were, compared to most blue dogs. I'm not, like I said, I'm not judgmental on them either. But compared to what I see out of most blue dogs, that were really nice. But yeah, I'm just looking for something I like. I'm not even looking for something that can win necessarily. I just want
Yeah,
one that I turn loose.
yeah, and I want to get into that with you here in a little bit. Is for me where I'm at and where I want to go. The biggest question for me is what does it take? What does it take to not only have a good coon dog, but to compete and win something? And I want to get into that with you later, um, because that's just like it's like the $1 million question. But um, yeah, for right now, I guess let's get into like your first couple of experiences competition hunting, or or just the journey between pleasure hunting a lot like you and me both did for years and going into competition hunting. Like, how, was it something that you were just like, man, it looks fun, it sounds fun, I want to do it, and then you just started diving in, or how'd that go?
Yeah, so I sold a pretty nice blue tick to a guy, Justin Inman, when I was probably 17, 16. And he competition hunted, and we started hunting together when I sold him that dog, and just pleasure hunting. And I went to a few hunts with him, and it was cool, but I didn't really, at that time, I didn't really think I had what I needed to go win, and I didn't want to
Yeah,
go lose, so I didn't go.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I regret that now, but that's really, I went like 2 times back then. I got a cast win, but it was still, I just kind of felt like, oh, I lucked into that. And then just hunting those dogs I was talking about, um, pleasure hunting. And then the female got old and got some cancer, and I was
hmm,
gonna have to put her down. So at that point, I started just going on the hunt for a dog. Tried a couple dogs, and they were supposed to be, competition dogs that were
yeah,
ready to put hunts. And I'm not saying they were bad dogs, but I did
yeah,
that. And basically just kind of thought, if that's what people competition hunt with, then I've had this all along. So then I
right,
just started looking for a dog that I liked, and found Heist, which was his name originally was Tracking in Debt. He was from Bloomfield, Iowa, Logan Edgar, and he was 14 months old or something, and he could tree some coons and was good at it, but he made a lot of mistakes. And I basically just decided, well, this guy was competition hunting him, and he had some of his money won towards sophomore year of super stakes, but not all of it. And Andrea and me were talking, and we're like, well, we might as well go try it, see if we can win his money. And
yeah,
that's pretty much how it started
yeah.
for me. And then we started going and realized, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. So did you read the rule books front to back, before you ever stepped foot in a, or I guess before you ever paid an entry fee? Did you read them rule books, or did you just take your $30 lessons and learn how to hunt in competitions that way?
I tried to make sure I knew what I was doing before I ever got there,
Yeah.
and I needed to get my money won, like I said, and there wasn't much time left before the super stakes. So we went to it was a $30 hunt in Lebanon, Missouri,
Mhm.
and Andrea hunted the early round. Like I said, we had no idea what we were doing. She hunted the early round, and Heist got off by himself about 100 yards from the truck, just fell treed, and
Yeah.
she hadn't hunted with him that much at that time. So she was scared to treat him, and probably they put the stationary on her right away, and got down to like a minute left on the stationary, and then another guy's dog came in there and fell treed with him, and they treated
Yeah.
her, that female, and that was actually Robert Burns' dog, and his boy was hunting him. But anyway, and they had a coon, and that was it. So then Andrew's like, "Well, I screwed up. You hunt late round," and then I drew out with Cheyenne Cummings. So
Yeah.
and still, so that was really basically my first hunt, as far as knowing what was going on. And
Yeah.
we didn't tree a coon, I don't think. Stogie went 1.3 and treated a den. I treated a den and a slick, but
Yeah. You kind of
I
got
tried.
thrown to the wolves right there at the beginning.
Yeah, which I mean, Cheyenne was a great guy then, and I still think the
Yeah.
same. He was nothing but good then, and really that's the only reason I went to Super Stakes is probably because of him. I've never talked to him about that, but that night
Yeah.
he told me, like, man, you need to go get your money won, and you need to take him out there from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah. I've dealt with Cheyenne several times now, and absolutely the utmost respect for him.
Yeah.
Um, Anytime I call, he don't owe me a thing, and anytime I call, he's nothing but nice, gives me all the advice I can get, and him and his family are great.
Yeah.
I've had I guess I've had 4 dogs now that are from his stuff, and I got nothing but respect for him and his family, and they've got some really nice dogs, and they have had for a long time. So, um,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, going into one of your first couple casts with Robert Burns and then having Cheyenne Cummings in there too, that's
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
And then, I mean, it was all good. No issues anywhere. It was. I think that helped with a lot with me wanting to do it. Was, you know, I've drawn out
oh
with
yeah,
a few guys that are known and didn't. It wasn't nobody trying to screw nobody over. It was just hunting.
yeah,
So
yeah. You hear all the horror stories. I've heard them about it's nothing but cheating and this and that. And
yeah.
I I mean, just a quick disclaimer here. I'm gonna tell the truth on this podcast, whatever it is, good, bad, or ugly. And my opinions and whoever my guests are that are on this thing, they're gonna have their opinions, and it's gonna be nothing but the truth, at least from our perspective. So, um,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, this is what people need to hear, though, is like it is possible, and not everybody's out there to cheat you. Yes, there's probably going to be times where somebody knows the rules better than you do, and you're going to feel like you got cheated, but maybe you didn't. And the biggest thing is, everyone's capable of doing it. You know, um, it's not like you got to have this magical dog and hunt 7 nights a week for 3 years to be able to compete at all. I mean, but I'm kind of jumping ahead, getting up on a soapbox there. But uh, no, I mean that's great. That's great advice and a great outlook on getting into the competition hunting. So let's talk about Heist. I mean, I've hunted with Heist several times now, and he's a coon dog, and I like him most nights. Just I guess expand on him a little bit as far as how he was raised and uh, what you did with him starting out.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's directly out of Big Money, and then out of a female out of Trackman, and
Hmm.
I got him from Logan Edgar up in southern Iowa. I don't know if I can't take the credit for this. I don't know if it's because of him or what, but from the moment I got him, he was about 14 months old, and he's going to turn 5 in a couple months. And I have never one time. I mean, I'm not just saying this like I said. We're not in a hunt. I'm being truthful. I've never
Yeah,
one time seen a dog tree a possum, run an armadillo in a hole,
yeah,
run a deer. Nothing. I mean, I don't know if that was Logan or if that's just the dog, but I've never seen him do that. But and he would go hunting pretty good when I got him. But he just and maybe part of this is because of where he was from southern Iowa to here. But he made a
Yeah.
lot of trees that he made a lot of mistakes and he didn't want to take a correction. I don't know whether that's maybe maybe he was a dog that didn't need much whipping or correction, and
Yeah.
you get too much, he messes up more. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I mean, he would pretty much go hunting good and could tree a coon, but he made a lot of mistakes, just wanting to get treed too quick, and maybe
Mhm.
that's it too. I mean, you got a dog that wants to get treed, they're going to get treed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like I've done a lot of work on the dog, but most of the work I've done on the dog is just hunting him. Just
Yeah.
take him and let him get treed. If he's not
Yeah.
right, make him go on.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I've kind of dealt with that same thing a little bit in the dogs I've had, is some of them being not wanting to take a lot of correction, and it seems like the dogs I've had have been ones that are gonna get treed, and maybe a few times too many, um, at least when they're young. So I know what you're talking about on that, and I guess what do you do to handle that? Just keep hunting? I mean, me and you both are not the type, I don't think, that are gonna just completely whip on a dog and just beat them down. That's not my style, and I don't think it is yours either, but
Now, yeah, I mean, basically just let him get treed, go in, try to, I would try to do a lot of his. We got thermals now, but
mhm.
I would try to do a lot of his with him never really knowing that I was there. I wouldn't walk up and, like anyone who's hunted me with him, I don't care if I'm pleasure hunting, competition hunting, or what, with not just him, but any dog, I try to make habits. So when I get
Yeah,
to the tree, I walk up, I grab him by the collar, I leash him up, tie him back, whatever, and I do that every time. But when I
yeah,
was having trouble with him getting treed too much, one of the main things I did was try to stand back, a ways away, scan with the thermal, shine with the
mhm.
red, whatever I was doing. I tried to do it before I ever touched the dog. I didn't
Yeah,
want him to, and what I would do then if I realized it wasn't there. Sometimes you just don't know this time of year, but
yeah,
when you know it's not there, I never grabbed him by the collar and put the leash on him. I might grab him, by just kind of the skin on his back and kick him on. Let's go.
yep, yep,
Something like that, just to try to get the habit of, like it's not right.
yeah,
And they're not dumb.
yeah,
Most people aren't. They realize. So I mean, I did a lot of that, and then I kind of created my own problem by that of wanting to go back to a tree. I think, but
mhm.
same thing. I would stand at the tree between him and the tree. You're not going back. Basically,
Yeah,
teaching
yeah,
what I feel like was just teaching him habits of when I grab your collar and tie you back. That's it. Good,
yep,
right, wrong, indifferent. That's it. The treat is done. And that,
yep,
and he got on, and that made a big difference.
yeah, yeah.
That's good. We can come out here.
Yeah,
Uh,
um, that makes me, think of something that I wanted to say, just a point that I think needs to be across, or a point that I wanna make, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong or whatever, but, um, I just feel like too many times people, or we'll just say kids or whoever's got a new dog or they're working on one, um you got to trust, like, the people that you got to listen to, the people that you trust, and you got to listen to your gut instincts on what it is that's going to be best for the dog, for you, and to get the dog where you're wanting it to go. And of course patience, but I can think of examples of people that I've heard say, well, the first 50 trees that a dog makes in his life is the most accurate he'll ever be, you know? And that may be true for some line of dogs or whatever, or some people. But
right.
man, you got to trust your own instincts on what you think the dog is doing and what you think needs to happen to get it where it needs to go, because you're the one spending all the time with it. I mean, you just got to trust yourself and the people that you can trust that are close to you, you can lean on for advice, and don't listen to what everybody is saying. Just think about it yourself, and don't get caught up looking at how good someone else's dog is doing and this and that. Like, I don't know, it's so easy to look at all the dogs that are winning these big hunts and this and that, and you get to where you're thinking that everything is junk unless it's running and treeing 3 or 4 coons every night by the time it's a year old.
Yeah. 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 Just because mine's a year old and yours is a year old. Well, like Devil, for example, he's treated a lot of coons for being 9 months old, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mean
and
he's going to be better than the other dogs.
tell everybody
Yeah.
about Devil, tell them about him a little bit.
He's 9 months old now. He's treed probably 18 or 19 coons now, maybe 20.
Yep, an
By himself.
English male dog.
Yeah, yeah. English male dog out of Andrea. Andrea's dog, Lucifer's next of kin, and then Rex Jones from Greenfield, which
Mhm.
the dad to him passed away. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's treated a lot of coons for his age, more than any pup I've had at that age. That's not been hunted every night, but
Mhm.
doesn't mean he's going to be better than the others in the litter that have treated one or two. You know, he might
Yeah.
develop really fast and really good, and then be nothing by the time he's 2 years old.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
I
the
mean,
thing that I think people get caught up on a lot is that if I have a pup out of a litter and you have a litter mate to it, and yours is treeing by a year and a half old, yours is treeing coons very, very, very consistently, and mine's really just starting to turn on. It doesn't mean that mine won't be better. They're not all
yeah.
the same, and they don't
Yeah,
all
they're
react or develop the same.
yeah, I mean, Boone, you hunted with Boone, uh, several times, and, you know, you never know what's true and what's not, but, everybody who's been keeping up with our channel knows that, I sold Boone probably 2 months ago or so, and, um, I've kept tabs on him, and I haven't even told you this yet, but I heard the other day that he's like 42 of 49 on the last trees he's made in the last month, and he's been put in 4 UKC hunts and won 3 of them.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I mean, I can believe it for sure because,
yeah,
I seen what was in him. He was kinda one of those, like, you were comparing, Devil. Like, he
yeah,
started early, and then me and him hit this lull where we just couldn't see eye to eye. A lot of it was my fault. I should have been probably not hunting him whenever the weather was record dry and no rainfall, um, and things like that. But you got to be honest with yourself on what you want out of a dog and their temperament. And yeah, it stings me pretty bad that he's somewhere else now and he's doing really good. Like, I'm happy he's doing good, but it also chaps me a little bit because all I want to do is go to hunts right now because I'm impatient and I want to compete. And when you hear a dog that you just sold for this amount and now he's sold for a lot more than that, is
yeah,
doing really good, it's like, gosh dang. But deep down, I know that if I would have been hunting with you or whoever else, I'd have just been on pins and needles the whole time, thinking he's gonna get in trouble at the tree and
yeah,
this and that. And he was just one of those that what he needed work on was gonna be really hard for me to do by myself with the dogs that I have at my house. So
yeah. And sometimes too, they just don't operate at certain, geographically. They might not.
yes.
I might take my dog that does really well here and take him to Mississippi, and he can't tree a coon hardly, or vice
Mhm.
versa. I mean, I don't know, but that could be a big part of it too. Is if he, if they
Yep.
are pretty, from my experience when I've went up that way, you don't run long tracks. You don't run a track for 800-900 yards like you do here very often. And that,
Yeah.
he may, that may, in my opinion, that's probably a big part of him. Is it doesn't matter if you got him back right now, he's not going to go 42 for 49 trees here, probably,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I tend to agree with you, and there's probably a lot of people out there who are gonna look at us and say BS, but I tend to agree with you. I mean, it is what it is. We don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's like to hunt in Ohio because I don't live in Ohio, and I just know how it is to hunt here. So
yeah, yeah. I'm not like some, huge time competition hunter, but I've hunted dogs here that tree on it, hunting for 2 or 3 hours, and you treat 2 or 3 coons and you're doing pretty good. I've taken
yeah,
those same dogs to Ohio or Indiana and treat, 4 or 5 in 2 or 3 hours with the same exact dog within a week's
sure,
time. It's just different. But
yeah,
I've also seen dogs that do really well up there, win hunts up there, come hunt down here and they don't got it. They go to missing and they
yeah,
can't take the picture of, moving
yeah.
on.
I just everybody's got to have patience and um, just trust your gut on what you need to do with your dog. Um, and you know, things just take time. They take time. But so what I want to get into is like this is the hardest thing for me because there's so much information out there for people to take in, listen to, watch. There's so much out there, and I want to talk to you, two guys that we both work. You probably work more than 40 hours a week. I'm working 40 hours a week, 7 a.m. to 3:30. I hunt as much as I can. I have a wife and a daughter, and I'm trying to balance all that. And I just want to know from our perspective, what, and you can tie this into Heist. I know we haven't talked about Heist a ton, but you can tie this into Heist. But what does it take to not only have a good coon dog, but to compete? I know I'm not going to win every time I put money down. I'm not going to win, but I want to compete and have a chance. So, what does it take for guys like us to have a dog that can compete?
Yeah. Well, for me, the most important thing that I've realized is it has to be a dog that I want to go put the leash on and go hunt. I don't
Yeah,
care if it's. I mean, there's probably better dogs, but I gotta want to hunt him, or else he's not going to get any better because I'm not going to take him.
yeah,
Um,
that's
but as
true.
far as me, yeah, oh yeah. As far as me personally, general rule of thumb, I always have. Nobody's told me this. I just kind of always go by it. I try to have, in my, like, if I go to a decent spot around here, I need a dog to get treed the way I look at it. And within an hour, they need to make 3 trees. If I'm hunting them by themselves, 3 trees within an hour, and me walking to them, and they need to have a coon that I see in 2 of them. If they can do that consistently, you can go, in my opinion, you can go and win a lot of places. But and that's same can be said if your dog's only making 2 trees that you can walk to in an hour, they need to have both those coons for me.
Yeah,
And I feel like
yeah,
my there's nights that I make 3 trees in an hour and I see 1 coon. There's nights that I make 3 trees in 40 minutes and I see 3 coons. But general rule of thumb, I need to be arriving at the tree, the last tree, by time an hour goes up, and I need to score 2 of those coons. And
yeah,
maybe it's a click tree once, maybe it's a circle tree once, but in
yeah,
general, if you can do that, you can go win.
yeah. And I mean, obviously, there's so many variables. Are you first and first on a coon? And the only takes one that night, or does somebody take minus or whatnot? There's so many variables, but yeah, I would say in an hour cast, like two is I
Yeah,
mean, that's really
and
doing something.
But that's what I was saying, if it's just your dog, because,
Hmm.
I'm talking about just my dog going out there and doing that. If you're with another dog and a cast, yeah, if you can score a coon and not take any minus in an hour hunt, you're going to win a lot of hunts. And that's the
Yes.
way I look at it like that. And
Yeah.
same thing,
Yeah.
I try to do it on like sets of three, like that, 3 trees, but 3 nights of hunting, it doesn't have to be back to back to back, but 3 nights of hunting the dog. If I can go do that, see 2 coons, score 2 coons within an hour, 2 out of 3 nights, then I know he's ready. He's ready to
Yeah.
go wherever I need to go, and we're good. Whether that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I know
Yeah.
then I feel good going in, and I got to
Yeah.
feel good making one to a hunt, or I'm not going.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I feel like so many people probably out there that want to get into it, have dogs or whatnot. We, man, I don't know if you deer hunt a lot, but I put it like this. It's like the guy who um the guy who's at home watching a YouTube video or whatever of the juries or the Lakoskis or whoever killing these massive deer, and they're judging themselves based on that standard, and that's not the standard that you need to be judging yourself on. Like, if you go out and kill 130 or 140-inch deer in Southwest Missouri, that's something to be proud of, and
Yeah,
you can't put yourself to that standard, and I just feel like so many people are acting and feeling like the dogs that are winning the big hunts, and granted, they are really good dogs, that they're superhuman, you know, and they
yeah,
don't make mistakes ever. And man, if I ain't got one that's treeing coons by a year old, or mine's got to be treeing 3 coons in an hour and staying off by itself the whole time, dead
yeah,
loner. I might as well sell it and restart and just pack up and just forget about it,
yeah.
and I just don't think it's true.
No, it's not. And I mean, like that, you gotta be honest with yourself about what your dog is and isn't. But yeah, go to a local hunt around anywhere in this area anyway. And I'm not saying the dogs there are bad. I'm just saying they're really not far off, from each other.
They're
From
dogs.
yeah, they're gonna have nights where they're on, and they're gonna have nights where they're off. And some of them are going to have like they're always going to be on, but they're only going to tree 1 coon an hour every night. They're going to do that, but that's it. And they'll still win some hunts. It's not the dog I
Yeah.
want, but they will win some hunts. And it's just like I said, that goes back to, like I said, know what you want. You got to know what you want and have one you want to hunt.
So what does Josh Cowden want? If if he could build in the lab, if he could go into the lab and build the perfect dog, what is Josh Cowden gonna build?
It's got to tree coons. I'm not saying it's got to be dead accurate, but I don't want one that's going to make a ton of misses, but I'm okay with one missing a few coons as long as it's making a tree. For me to like it, it's going to make a tree every 20 minutes in this area almost every night. It's going to be
Yeah.
treed somewhere within about 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Tree them as they come to them. I don't want one that's going to be a dead loner. And if yours trees one at 250 yards, I don't want mine to run past them. I never try to get onto my dogs for treeing with another dog. I want them to tree some coons on their own, but I want them to go whatever direction they're going. I want them to treat the first coon they come to. And
Okay, and let me interrupt you real quick, because a lot of people, they might be looking at you like you're crazy right now. Because the popular
yeah,
thing right now is deep and lonely and by yourself. So tell me why is that something that you like?
well, I'd say the biggest reason is because out of a 30-day month, I probably on average go to 1 or 2 competition hunts and pleasure hunt 10 or 12 of those nights at least. So
Yeah.
I don't want to walk. I don't want to, just because me and you go hunting, or I turn 2 dogs, me and Andrea go hunting. I don't want to walk 6/10 of a mile just because another dog treed a coon at 350 yards. I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of like the other
I get
night when
that.
you and Jeremy and Spencer went. We had a good hunt, but like
Yeah,
that, what my two dogs did that night is what I want them to do. Were they together? Yeah, but they had a coon at 400 yards.
yeah,
Did yours do a good job? Yeah, and so did Jeremy's. But that's just the way that I don't know. That's just what I like because I don't go to
yeah,
enough. Maybe if I competition hunted all the time, I would want it different. But for me, the way I look at it, if you guys want to make your dogs go get by themselves, do it. I'll take that first coon and then I'll recut and hopefully mine gets treed again on his way to you. As long as he's
yeah.
not going to cover bad, there's nothing wrong with one, in my opinion, treating them as they come to him. Now, yeah,
I,
if mine's just going to get treed at 400 yards, yours goes 700, and every time I recut, mine's going to go to yours, probably not going to work good. But if a
yeah.
dog doesn't want to cover real bad, it does good to
I,
me.
I, I see the logic in that. Absolutely. I'm to the point I still don't even know what kind of style of dog I like or want. I'm still like trying them all out, but um,
Oh, dang,
Shy,
I
he,
have one that will go hunting too. Forgot that. I can't have a dog that won't go hunt by itself. Pet peeve. I
yeah,
got to be able to be loose and it's got to go.
yeah, I agree with you on that one for sure. I think obviously most of them are gonna have a little extra juice whenever you turn them loose with something else. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, I agree with you on that. Absolutely. Um, Shy, I'm still learning him. I've hunted him maybe 20, 25 nights. I've had him for a couple of months now, probably 2 or 3 months. It took a while to get him used to me. So it was a solid 2 weeks before we could even hunt. And when I started taking him hunting, he would hide under the truck from me, and it was not a good start. But he was a 2-year-old when I got him, and he'd only been hunted like 5 or 10 times. So, kind of an interesting scenario there with him, being that old and having not hunted at all, really. And
Right.
when he was hunted with other dogs. So, I'm really happy with where he's at, given the time that I've had. He's treated me like 12 or so coons. And there for a while, he was running. He was running and not
Yeah.
stopping, and I was chasing him all over the county. But he's finally started putting the brakes on and getting treed. The last time out, he made 4 trees and didn't have a coon in one of them. And I'm not sure if he was not feeling good that night or he had a little health issue that I've kind of tried to get cleared up here in the last week, and I've given him a week off. So um,
Yeah.
he's had some good nights and some bad ones, but he's far from being finished. But you know,
He
it
tries to be
takes
by himself and he hunts around good though. I mean,
he yeah
he
yeah he
just
does.
straight away from you and he gets by himself. He doesn't just tree usually because another dog does.
Right, right. Um, so I'm excited. I'm excited about him. Hopefully we can get on the same page and just patience. I mean, patience is a big thing, but uh, yeah. I mean, so you're gonna have one that's gonna treat coons as they come to them, and I tend to agree with that. Like at least for me, if I don't have one that's like gonna absolutely book it and get something done quickly, I want one like you're describing, one that's gonna treat them as they come and not gonna pass a track up and be able to have it on the outside whenever they get treated.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with one going quick to get deep and by themselves. That's just not what I'm looking for.
Right.
That's not to say I don't get beat by them when I go. It's just not what I'm looking for.
So is it hard? Is it hard to win and have a dog that can put you in the winner circle consistently? Like, how hard is it?
I mean, I feel like I try to not make the dog take any minus and let the dog do the work. I try to
Yeah,
strike my dog, treat my dog. I try not to do any kind of funny business of getting more points for him. I just try to strike him and tree him. Know if he doesn't come onto the tree right, and try to keep him out of trouble the best I can. But yeah, I mean, even if the dog operates perfect, it just sometimes luck doesn't go your way. Your dog could do nothing all night and walk beside us, and we walk it past the coon, and I made 3 trees, and we don't score any because it's legitimate dens. That's just how it goes. Yeah, it's
yeah,
hard. I feel like.
yeah. I mean, I've had a couple of dogs in the last year that can tree coons, and I've gone with you and Jeremy, and we've done um, simulation casts, and it's hard. It's like it's hard to have one that
Yeah,
will do exactly what you want it to do. That's never gonna happen. Um, it is. It's hard. It's like
and
it's
you got to
really
know what.
hard.
That's the thing. You got to know what the dog's doing.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you mean by that exactly?
I mean, you can't go pull a Spencer Ashworth and Hail Mary on a locate, hoping we're getting treated in there, even though it worked out for him that night. You
Yeah,
know, which I say that at the same time, he did know her. She located. He knew she's going to locate when she treat, or when she locates, she's treed. So he treated her
yeah,
6/10 of
yeah,
a mile away. And I mean, so I guess a double-edged sword. He does know her, but like that, a lot of times guys will do something like that without knowing, or like
mhm,
Heist. You better not tree your dog off Heist because he'll locate 10 times sometimes, one time sometimes. He might
yeah,
sound like he's treeing, but he's chopping every breath on the ground, trailing. Like, you got to know when your dog's trailing, when your dog's treeing. You got to know if your dog's gonna, if yours gets treed 250 yards over here, and I see mine going that way, do I know when mine opens, is he gonna tree with yours? Do I need to get some of that? You know?
yeah,
And so
yeah,
just being smart logically, has your dog been locating around in there for 20 minutes, or did he just scald the track in there? Does he probably have a coon? Because if so, I better tree him if
yeah,
mine gets in
yeah.
there. I
Right,
mean, you got to
right.
know what to do. You don't want to tree your dog because it comes in to cover like what you think's going to cover mine. Tree your dog and then know, well, he ain't going to stay, and he rolls out of there, and next thing you know, you're minus.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think that's the point that I'm trying to make, and I may not be doing a good job of it, but is that it's like we all have high expectations. So yeah, it is hard to have one that's perfect that wins every time. That's like impossible to win every time. But simplify it, I guess is what I'm saying. Like just, for the people that are wanting to get into it or right there on the edge, like it's hard, but it's simpler than what it sounds like it is. If you got one that can tree a
Yeah.
coon, when it trees and it has a coon, you're already one step in the right direction. And then if you learn the rules
Oh,
and they'll go hunting, it's it's as simple as just call the dog, know what he's doing, or he or she, whatever the dog is, know what it's doing, and call them for what they're doing. Strike them when they open, and tree them when they get treed.
yeah. Yeah. And like I said, in my opinion, one of the best tools there is get a scorecard printed off and go do it. I mean, if you have to do it, people don't know, don't competition hunt, and so be it. But if you go with somebody who does, I mean, you're just getting those $30 lessons, everyone calls them, for free. Because, like I said, when we went hunting, it's no different than if I was judging the cast in a regular hunt, really. But, and not
Yeah,
that I'm some, expert, but I mean, I know the rules enough. But like that, you go do it, and when you left there, like, dang, if I would have treated him when he located and I thought he was going to tree, then I would have won. Or, dang, I've
yeah,
hunted 6 times with these guys, and you know, like a mock cast, and I've lost every one of them. He's probably not going to make it, or you see. I mean, the same dog can win.
Absolutely. I mean, that last night
you've seen me and Andrea try to have a mock cast. You've seen me, you, and Spencer and Jeremy do it. You've seen it. I mean, it's not always the same dog. I mean, not even the dog that's professional win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that last one we did last week, I had a chance. I had a chance there at the end.
Just to have Coon.
If
Got to see him.
shot. Yep. If we could have seen a coon, I'm not sure if he had one or not, but he got off on his own and he made a tree. Could have been a den tree or whatever, but he had a chance there. But you know, I would just encourage people to don't let everything you hear influence what you're gonna do or what you're doing. You know, go to the people that you trust and make decisions for yourself. I've been guilty of it in the past, putting too much stock in what I'm hearing from from the internet or whatnot. And there's a lot of good resources out there, but just trust yourself and take it from guys like us who are just normal guys who I don't know about you, but my pockets are not that deep. So um, you know,
No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really do feel confident that if I'm hunting my dog up and I go to a hunt, I feel like I can compete pretty much anywhere. But I'm not going to go enter, you know, $3,000 entry fee hunts and win all three. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I don't care how good the dog is; it just doesn't work that way. So you got to know that. You know?
Yeah. So, all right, tell me about super stakes. I think that's probably your biggest, most memorable hunt with Heist and making that run at super stakes. So, give me the story on that one real quick and um
Yeah, I went out and it was a sophomore year and didn't look very good the first night or two, and then won early with a bunch of random guys I didn't know, and then went late and did really good. I made a mistake, called him treed, and he located. And he did bark up, but he rolled on, and then some other dogs came in there, and he ended up getting treed again and treed another two more coons by himself to win, and did a good job. That put us into top 16, and then top 16. I mean, I know everybody says should have won, but he should have won. He treed, you know, some dogs took off running a deer. He treed a coon by himself, recut, and I at that point didn't know the rules enough, and the judge made a mistake and told me that the dogs would be leash locked.
yeah.
I didn't know any better, and they weren't, and mine got treed again. Another guy that was in the cast got to recut, and his covered mine 75. I was helping him handle the dog or watching the dog, and the judge got to us. The other guy was already treed in, and tree was closed, and that kept me out of, you know. And he did a good job, but
Yeah.
and I'm thinking him that we've won every year at least. That's super stakes, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, kind of just took a bad break there, I guess, you know, just unfortunate.
yeah, yeah. I should have, like I said, I shouldn't it. I said yeah, well, and I didn't start to argue about it, and then realized it was wrong.
Yeah.
Can't take anything away from the dog, but
Yeah. Well, I only hope to be hunting in something like that in the future. We'll see. We'll see if I ever get there, but um you got any kind of closing thoughts here? Anything you want to add or anything like that? before we close it out?
Yeah, be honest with yourself. I don't care if you tell your buddies you treat 30 coons every night, but be honest with yourself about what your dog's doing, or he will never get better and you will never get better. That's it.
Man, you could not have said that any better. That's yeah, that's great advice. No, man, this was fun. I mean, I had fun. Hopefully you did. I feel like we didn't even we're going on 55 minutes here, so um
Yeah,
I feel like I didn't cover half of what I could talk to you about, but um
I'll
no,
do another one with Andrea.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That'd be an
We'll
exciting one.
definitely hey, you and her, man, that'd be like fireworks on YouTube right there. Just you
And
two.
then throw Spencer in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just get everything fired up and going, and then I would step out of the way and just let you guys take it from there.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but
definitely.
no, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on here, and hopefully everybody will get something useful out of this, whether it's a laugh or whatnot. But
Yep,
good information there from you, and hopefully we can do another one. And I'm sure I'll be hunting with you here pretty quick. Hopefully, I got a dog that can at least give Heist a little run for his money. Haha, big money joke. um, bad joke, but yeah, man, I appreciate it, and um, couldn't have said it any better there on those final thoughts. So I guess with that, we're gonna close it out, and maybe we'll get you on here again here pretty quick.
sounds good. Thanks.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
See ya.
All right. Well, that was a great conversation there, honestly, with Josh. Um, he's got a ton of knowledge on all things competition hunting, all things coon dogs, even though he's newer to the competition scene. I remember hunting with him so many times whenever we were doing those meat hunts, just everybody, bunch of us guys putting in money into a pot and going out and treating coons. Really great guy. Uh, yeah, just a top notch dude. Um, Andrea as well, and Spencer. Spencer lets us hunt. Excuse me. Spencer lets us hunt on his place a ton, and all just great people. So I've enjoyed getting to hunt with them a bunch here lately, and I've been enjoying these first couple of podcasts that we've done. And if you guys have any guests or anybody that you think would be great for me to get on, please let me know. Comment, send us a direct message on any of the social media platforms. And I'd love to have suggestions on topics or people. As we get into doing these more often, we're going to try to do them as routinely as possible as time allows for us. We all work and everything like that. So really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I guess until next time, we will see you on the next one. Thanks. Peace.